Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Oh, that's light. And you go, yeah,
just a bit.
Just a bit light, isn't it? Given England's first two results in the Euros, George, how are you feeling about tonight's match?
Good question. I don't. Excuse me. I don't know. The last start again. The second match was quite dull. I mean, it was just I fell asleep, and towards the end, I've never fallen asleep during an England game. I hadn't slept much the night before. That might have been why, but you know, it is. They'll score a goal. Hooray! They've scored, and then give up. You know, so I don't know. I don't care. This is the least fussed I've ever been about England in a competition. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
we're gonna go out in the quarterfinals probably, and I'll be like, fine. Let's just wrap it up.
We've ridden this roller coaster
enough
times now. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was watching. Go on.
I was gonna say we're recording this the day of England's third group game. So when this comes out, we'll already know what's happened and where we lay in the table. But yeah, I don't know. But I was going to say because I got to watch the game at work.
That's a shame.
Yeah. See, I get this every couple of years in a major tournament. Excuse me, broccoli. That the England games, the big tournament. The big question is: are you gigging? Are you gigging on an England game? Done it before. Sometimes you have to make the decision. I've done this before. Avoid the score. Don't watch the game. Avoid the radio. Don't go on your phone. Turn your phone on airplane mode. Then few of us will come back to someone's house at 1 a.m. and we'll watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or also done it where I'm playing the gig. I've got my phone on the side and I'm watching Harry Maguire nut one in against Ukraine.
We've done that. Yeah.
Big
First
time.
gig back after COVID. Yeah.
These group games have not clashed with gigs. However, tonight's one does clash with babysitting at the studio looking after rehearsals. Now, I often find myself in this position, George, where you have to go. Sometimes the bands themselves forget to check the schedule. Prime example, Young Pine. Liam's been on the show, the drummer, favourite band of ours. They always rehearse Tuesday evenings. And of course, England are playing Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock. Last week, I said to them, guys, I have to remind the bands, just to let you know, England are playing next Tuesday. If you want to rehearse, and they said, do you not want to work? I said, if I have to work, I said, I've watched more England games at this studio than you've had hot dinners, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Liam. He only eats chocolate bars.
Yeah. Twix and a can of pop. It's a nutritious meal.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. If you want to rehearse, I'll be here. I'll watch it in the office. But if you want to move your rehearsal so you can watch the game, that's absolutely fine. So they moved their rehearsal to the Wednesday. So at this point, I've only got a band in 5 till 7. Lovely, I can get home. Oh, no, the band's booked in, haven't they? Booked in online, 8 till 10. Is it my fault for leaving the studio open? It's fine. I want the money. But this band obviously don't care about football because they have booked 8 till 10 when England are playing. It's fine. I will happily work and I will watch the England game in the office. But it's something I have to be about. And then you've got to start predicting the group games. Have we got a gig on this game? I think we might be all right. But still, we don't know where England finish the group. But anyway, that's just a constant sort of dilemma, really. But we've all been there. You've all got a football. Neil's had the Champions League final, Liverpool. He's had that on his music stand while playing. Yeah. You know, it's
a weird one. This is the first year I think I'm old enough to be like, it's not coming home. Do you know what I mean? When you're younger, you'd be like, no, I think we could actually win this, you know? And I was watching, you know, they do BBC News and they go around to a big pub and go, what do you think? You know, do you reckon we got a chance? Like, yeah, it's coming home. 3-0 tonight, 100%. And then it's just like 1-1 draw or whatever. And I don't know. It's weird. I don't feel like it's coming home. There's been other years where I'm
It
like,
does
oh,
feel
I
like
feel
this
like we could
tournament's
win this.
been less pumped.
Yeah, really less pumped.
Bit less pumped.
And I don't feel like I know the players anymore. Do you know? I feel like maybe it was because it was my era, but you know, the Beckham, Rooney, Lampard, Terry, Scholes, Ferdinand, David James, all these big names, and now it's like it's great, all these young kids coming through, but I don't know any of them. Do you know what I mean? I know Jude Bellingham, but that's just because he's talked about, and obviously Harry Kane and that, and Pickford. But it's sort of like I don't know. I don't know. It never. I'm always like, who's playing tonight? Why is Grealish not playing? You know, why is he at home or in Ibiza or wherever he is?
Yeah, he's probably absolutely living it up large.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope
But,
England just, I don't know, play like they could remember how to play football.
Yeah, just
which
go
they
for
seemingly
it.
forgot
Yeah.
in the last game, how to pass the ball. Anyway, George, what's going on? How you been? What's the crack?
Yeah, good. I got the Yamaha light hardware bag the other day, which you got.
The Yamaha Crosstown hardware.
That's the one.
lightweight aluminium. Yeah. So you got the pack, which I got as well.
I got the pack. Oh my god! I thought, do I get it? It's 350 quid or something, and instantly I thought, this is the best investment I've ever made. You know?
Yeah.
I'm
You
nearly
text
30.
me and went, the Yamaha lightweight hardware, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I replied, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It truly
was
is.
So this is how good the hardware case is now. In my Volkswagen Golf, I don't even have to put my seats down now to set up to have a whole drum kit and hardware and everything. Most of it goes in the boot, and then the kick drum and low tom and cymbals go in the back seats, and it's so nice. And I turn up to a gig, and I did my first gig with this hardware. I got it that day. I was a gig with this guy called Marcus Smith and Ben Y, actually, who sometimes listens to the podcast and never, ever, ever lets me forget about the time where I spoke about him on the podcast and he listened to the podcast, but I didn't mention his name. I was talking about someone getting car sick on the drive back from a gig. And a few weeks later, he was like, hey, were you talking about me? I was like, yeah, I was. Sorry, sometimes I just forget. But I didn't name him. But now I have named him. Anyway, so I turned up.
Talk about me being car sick. Can you please name drop me? Because that's
Yeah.
something I want to be known for.
This is it. Yeah, exactly.
You feel like it'd be grateful not to be name checked. And I get car sick, putting it out there.
Do you?
I get really car sick, yeah.
Oh, doesn't even know. No, he got it from being on his phone. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Oh, yeah. Don't be on
Yeah.
the phone in the car.
No. But we had this
Honestly, I will
gig.
just, if I'm not driving, if I just look at my phone, not even do anything,
Yeah.
game over. I feel horrible.
Really?
Yeah, I feel awful.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
all right. I've got lucky. So anyway, we had this gig and turned up, and it was just like I couldn't get over how light the stands were. I was showing them to the other guys in the band. I was going, feel this. This is mental.
And you have to, I've done that with everyone I've gigged with
Yeah.
since having that hardware.
Yeah.
And you're like, Rich, cymbal
Yeah.
stand. And
Yeah.
you go, oh, that's light. And you go, yeah.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
Just a bit light, isn't it? Just a bit light. Yeah.
But I did what you did.
Do you think
go on.
people care?
No. Well, they act like they care, but the way Marcus Smith reacted, it sounded like when a child's done a drawing and you have to act like it's good. It was that, well done. That's
They jump
really
in the pool,
good.
but they've basically just fallen off and
Yeah.
splashed into it. Yeah, good one. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah. Anyway, but do you know what I really like about it? I mean, aside from the fact it's light, I really like the hi-hat stand. I don't know if it's because it's shittier than a DW9000, but it feels more kind of loose, but not as in like the stand or anything, but like when you open the cymbals seem to, I don't know, wobble a bit more.
Okay.
I don't think it's like a design flaw, but it just everything seems a lot more fun. And I did buy an extra stand. Like I got it from Graham Russell. It was like a miscellaneous £15 cymbal stand, just so I could have two crashers, ride and hi-hat. But afterwards, I had a gig on Saturday with Joe, and I was well aware that it was quite far away. It was like up from Bournemouth. It was 2.5 hour drive, and I went, do you know what? I'm not going to take this extra stand that I've spent 15 quid on. I'm just going to take the Yamaha thing as it comes, and just have a big crash on my left and then a ride on my right, and just do it like that. And it was so much fun. I actually had on Saturday one of my funnest gigs maybe ever. I was, I'm just going to take just the Yamaha stuff, and I really enjoyed it because it was sort of great crowds. I got away early. 10 p.m. we finished playing, and then I could just leave, which was amazing. Because I had to get back. It was one of those gigs where I was like mentally thinking about the next day. Basically, I never ever talk about my part-time job at the care home on this podcast, but the next day I had a busy day at the job, and I knew I had to be in on time. Sometimes I'll try and get in a bit late, but this one I was like, I have to be in at 8 a.m.
I have to actually be in for the hours they're paying me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, at least one a month. I've got to
at least one a month.
Clock in on time.
Yeah. When you're a good worker, it's amazing what you can get away with. If you're not a cunt, you could be like, do you mind if I leave early? I've got a lesson with Pat.
Well, I used to. Sorry to cut in, but
No, it's okay.
I used to work at Sainsbury's back in the day. I had 2 jobs at Sainsbury's. When I was at sixth form, I used to work in the canteen at the Sainsbury's in what's it called? Fareham, near Fareham, Wallington, the Wallington Sainsbury's. Hated that job, but when I was at uni, I'd come back in the holidays and work night shifts stuck in the shelves. And little tips, little tricks to just avoid doing work. Like when I worked in the canteen, you'd take the bins out. Absolutely, I'll always take the bin out.
Yeah.
I'll take the bin out, and I'll take my sweet time taking that bin round the back. Maybe I get lost. Yeah. Maybe I end up going through the section where my mate John works.
Yeah.
And have a chat to him.
Yeah.
But when doing my night shift, it would get to I'd finish at 7 a.m. and it would get to 6:30. And it'd be like, do you know what? What I'll do is, what I found is, if you just walk round like you're looking for someone,
no
one does anything.
Yeah.
Just look round, and if someone says, "Oh, you're right," you know what you do, and you just go, "Have you seen Pete?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, he's over there," and you go, "Great, thanks," and then you just go and see Pete. You know, but otherwise you could just walk around for quite a while.
That was amazing.
Go out the back. Oh, I'm just looking. Don't say anything. Just look like you're looking for something. Everyone leave you alone. And then at 10 to 7, go and take a shit. And just run it out till 7.
Yeah.
Bosh, clock out. See you later.
Yeah.
Jump on the moped. Off you go.
You had a moped as well?
Yeah, big time.
I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
Big time.
Yeah, I used to work at a restaurant, and there was a guy that used to do that. You'd ask him to do something. He's like, "Oh, sorry, mate, I've just got to go and do something over there." And he'd do it all night, and it'd be like, this actually seems more exhausting to actually, his whole job was just getting out of jobs. He'd be like, "Do you mind if you take," "Oh, no, really, sorry." And we all knew what he was doing, but somehow got away with it. Anyway, what was I talking about?
Being on time for work.
Yes.
For a change.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, I'd take the piss more and more. Well, I'll tell you why. The Wednesdays I have a lesson with Pat. The lesson's at 4, and I'm contractually obliged to finish at 3:30. So initially I'd finish at 3:30, drive home and immediately go to Pat. But I quite like to have a little practice before going to Pat. So, the other team get on at 3 p.m. and I'm like, eventually I was like, well, when they get here, can I just go, leave half an hour? Because there's enough staff now. And now sometimes I do what I want, leave at 2 or something. I'm like, there's enough people here. You'll be fine. I'm off. Not a good attitude for drumming. And it is not my attitude for drumming. But part-time work, everyone does. And that's another thing. Everyone does it. Anyway, I'm going to get off that topic. But no, I had a great gig. And it's a funny one because, I'd had a weird day that day, a weird week. I won't go into it. But, sometimes personal life can get messy.
We've all got one.
And, yeah, we've all got one. And
apart from someone I know who just seems to be incredibly boring. No, carry on.
And But I was playing this gig, and thankfully, like, the crowds were well up for it. It was weird as well because we were in a marquee, but we finished at 10, and it's June, so the sun was very much still up when we finished, you know. But just everyone was dancing the whole way through, but it seemed like they were really enjoying it, and it was just nice. And I sort of, I don't know, just was a bit more, not to sound cheesy, but free with my drumming. You know what I mean? Like, usually I've always got the iPad with the charts, but I was like, fuck off the charts. I know the songs. Let's just not look at it. Let's just have some fun. And I don't know if it's the kit. I'm really enjoying playing the Gretsch Catalina because it's small, and the hardware. It felt like I was playing like a toy drum kit. So it felt like I could do more. I felt like when you play on a big drum kit, you might just be like, right, just give it you've got to whack it. You've got to give this some beef, Whereas when you play a smaller one, it can feel like, oh, this is just a toy. This is like, it's like going go-karting. It's like, this isn't real driving. I can kind of just have fun. And and I just sort of, it was almost like I needed a good gig. Do you know what I mean? It really was like that. Maybe like you with your back, the adrenaline made your back feel better. But it was like, I'd had a shit day. I was just confused about a lot of stuff. And, and I really didn't want the gig to end without sounding, whatever about it. But I was like, this is such a nice thing to be doing. This is such a relief. It's such a release also, and I was like, oh, this is why I do it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is just a function, and there's 100 people there dancing. It's not Wembley, but I was like, but this is I don't know, this is my therapy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a great gig, and it was sort of like, oh, I needed that, and I'm glad that happened when it did. And I was like, I felt lucky. I was like, God, how cool is it that I can have this? If something's shit, be like, right, I'm going to go hit something and make people dance. That's fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? Like, how mad is that? Like, people use the gym and stuff to hit things to get their emotions out, but I get to hit things and then people sing along. Like, that's crazy.
I think that was Marilyn Manson's attitude, wasn't it? That was his mantra.
What's that? Hit things. Say it.
Hit things and then make people dance.
Yeah. Did you hear this? Did you hear the rumor?
I might cut that out.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't say my next thing then, because it
was hitting
sense.
Women. That was the joke.
I know now that you're not going to cut it out because you said the way you said that. Did you get the same rumor at school that everyone did, that Marilyn Manson removed 10 of his ribs so he could suck himself off?
Well, definitely removed ribs, but I didn't think it was as high as 10. I think.
Yeah, because I remember thinking 10's a lot. Like that.
Yeah, you've only got 14, haven't you? So
yeah, just 4 ribs left.
Got a torso like a water balloon. Just absolutely no.
But
protection.
I remember hearing that I remember the name of the kid. I won't say his name, but I remember his name. And he was the one that told everyone this rumor. And I think a lot of people were like, who is Marilyn Manson? But we knew enough about him that we sort of like, oh yeah, he does look like the type that would do that. But then I remember someone posted on Facebook, they were like, hey, here's something. Did everyone have that same rumor at their secondary school about Marilyn Manson? Yeah. And everyone was like, we all did.
I think there's something maybe kids of today won't appreciate is how these rumours spread school to school throughout the country with no internet. I remember hearing the rumour that Pat Sharp was dead. That our school, Pat Sharp, Funhouse. And I remember I played in the county brass band with people from all over Hampshire. So we went to different schools, different areas. And I remember when I said, you hear the rumour Pat Sharp's dead? And it was like, how did that get to, Newbury? Yeah. Technically, I don't think that's in Hampshire, but they allowed it for the county band. But, it got to Basingstoke.
Yeah. Pre-internet, it's amazing. It's amazing what could be passed on. Anyway, so I had a very good gig. And,
I like the fact with that Marilyn Manson rumour that it's already quite extreme in the fact that it done the rib removal to suck its own penis. Usually when rumours get exaggerated, as they progress, through, The only bit you can exaggerate is how many ribs.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably
yeah.
started off with, he had a couple of ribs, the two lowest ribs. He had a couple. And then it goes to the next one, 4. He had 4. And then it gets to, he had his whole rib cage and spine removed. So he could literally flop over like a lilo.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad you had a good gig.
Isn't it funny how that's exactly how rumours work, though? Because if you're telling someone something, you go, oh, have you ever heard this? And they're hooked. And your goal is, how do I keep them hooked, And you might be thinking, well, I've heard that it was 5 ribs from Billy at, Warblington School. But what if 5 isn't enough to make them shocked? So I'll go for 7, I removed 7 ribs. Yeah. And then, you tell
Interesting
that
you've gone for the odd numbers. You got an imbalanced.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to lean maybe you got to lean a certain side.
Well, that opens up another question. Is a rib...
But wouldn't it be funny if he just had them all removed on one side? You're meant to do them evenly. But
is a rib like the whole... Would you count one rib as in the whole thing, or would you count it? Because it sounds like you're sort of referring to it as like
I'm
half.
counting it as for me, and I think science will back me up on this.
Yeah.
A rib isn't the whole way round.
Is it not? Is it like half?
No,
of it?
because they don't join in the middle.
Oh
like
yeah,
the bottom ones.
Yeah, of course they don't.
So that's, and when you know.
But do they join at the back? Maybe.
Well, connected to the spine, aren't they?
Yeah, this is true.
Maybe some are probably attached to the sternum. I guess. Funnily enough, we had an email from...
Do you know, I'll just say this as well. You told me that we've really gone up in downloads recently. And I love the idea that people are listening, like, what is this, I've had this recommended by a friend. But yeah.
We've had a good few weeks in the old numbers.
Yeah.
But we've had an email from Jay Cookson who's got in touch. Says they were interested to hear about our experience with back pain and that they are a spinal specialist physiotherapist and keen to get information about back pain with drumming and things like that. What I'm more interested in is the logistics of rib removal for someone like Marilyn Manson. And if you could just let us know, what is a rib and where are they attached? And that would be great, because I think we need some clearing up. But I think one rib is just each side has one,
Yeah.
It's not the whole way across. Anyway, glad you had a good gig.
Thanks. I'll end with this. So, Ben Y is amazing at finding food. He's like a little squirrel, He'll turn up to every gig with the biggest Tupperware of pasta or like salad or grains, or like he's incredibly healthy.
Just oats and shit.
Yeah. Although I have heard that, when he'll drive back from a gig, he'll eat 4 big packets of crisps. So it's like it all goes out.
Clive
the
Owen,
one of them.
that's mental.
But so we finished the gig, and I was ravenous because, as I think mentioned in previous episodes, I don't really eat before gigs now, but then I eat afterwards. And he just had a slice of pizza. I was like, he'll just have food. And I'm like, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, over there. He finds it. And I went up, and basically they'd ordered like 30 Domino's pizzas for the wedding. And I haven't had a Domino's in a while. And there was this whole stack of cheese pizzas. And I was like, well, I'm not just going to take a box for the drive home, because that would be mental. That'd be rude if you just walk out with a box. But I am going to see how many pieces I can get before leaving. And I had about 7 pieces of pizza within 5 minutes or something, because I'd get 2 and then fold them over. So that at one point I had 3, and I was sort of eating 3 in one go because I was so hungry and just packing down the kit. So I'd have putting stands in that hardware bag with one hand and then eating pizza with the other. And
are you not concerned about grease cross-contamination? Getting grease?
No, I think
grease on your lovely new brushed
true.
aluminium lightweight Crosstown hardware.
It was separate hands though, so it's like one hand for pizza, one hand for hardware.
Because I will wash my hands before touching the PlayStation controller.
Well, because PlayStation controllers can be disgusting if you don't do that. But yeah, it was great. Had about half a pizza and then drove home and went quite full now. But
I think
had
I'm
that
nearly at the point where I would wear gloves to eat crisps.
really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or to eat pizza. I'm a big knife and fork guy. as
I
well.
know you
I'll
are.
eat my
I saw
burger.
you
I'll
eat
eat my
an-
burger.
There you
I'll
go.
eat my burger with a knife and fork. I'll
That's
eat
what I
my
was gonna
pizza with
say.
a knife and fork.
Can I say, not to call him out, but watching you and Neil eat a burger and chips before a gig once was fascinating because you eat it with a knife and fork. Fair enough. Fair play to you. You know, you don't want to get your hands dirty. But Neil did this thing where, and I know he listens to this, where he kept the spike in the burger that keeps the burger together and then sort of ate around the spike like it was a toffee apple or something. And then it got to the end and there was just this bit around the spike. And I was like, do you know what? That looked mental, but it makes sense, you know, because sometimes...
It does make sense. Keep the structural integrity.
You take the spike out and then it's like the tomato's gone and then the cheese
it's the
gone all the
slide.
way.
It's eradicating the slide factor, isn't it? Especially with a saucy burger or slippery salad.
Yeah.
Very easy to, once you start going around the rim of the burger, for things to start sliding, and then you end up with an overhang and an uneven distribution of beef patty to bun ratio. So it's not bad. It's not a bad move. Just be careful you don't eat the spike.
Yeah, that is, you know. But if you eat the spike, should you really be alive, you know? If you've made it that far and then you die from eating the burger spike, how did you make it that far, you know?
Yeah. So for me, knife and fork, flip the top bun off.
Yep.
Let's go.
I used to, when I went to Spoons in my meat eating years, they used to do this burger. I can't remember what it was called. I think it's called like no, I do remember exactly what it's called. It's called the Empire State Burger. It was amazing. It was like bacon, cheese, and onion rings, and an egg. And then I'd take the fried egg out, and then you've got egg and chips alongside a burger. But they do like, it would be like you could double up for £1 or something, get another burger in there. And then you've almost got 2 meals because you've got a whole burger with bacon and cheese and lettuce and like a very small amount of red onion for some reason. And then you've got a burger, a fried egg and some chips. And I was like, this is the best meal ever. And then they stopped doing it. And I was quite upset. It's probably when I became a veggie. I was like, there's no point anymore. They've got rid of the best burger at Spoons. But that's burgers and Marilyn Manson. Anything else?
Yes. Well, just quickly. So, I got my ACS in-ears back.
Hey,
from ACS.
Yeah.
All sorted.
Mm-hmm.
All sorted. Better fit in the right ear. Lube. Not necessarily needed now. And better stereo sound.
Nice.
And I used them my first gig
Hey.
on Friday. I won't go into too much detail about the gig. Fucking cushy little gig. It was some corporate thing. It was Wonder Year. It was our first gig.
Nice.
There were 3 bands from the agency playing throughout the day.
Wow.
There was a comedian. There was karaoke. So we had to arrive at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring our back line and breakables. Line check at 2:30. Play 3 till 4:30. Go home.
Oh.
Full fee.
Oh
Oh,
my
lovely. Home by 6:30. Ooh,
That's insane.
Lovely. 2 things. Yeah, I got to use my new in-ears. Lovely. I very much enjoyed it. I love the stability of just having them molded. But very good sound. Now on this gig, you see, because I was using a shared back line, like kit, shells, I just had to bring breakables. I took my stool, obviously. So this was actually a gig where I was playing an acoustic kit. For a change.
Yeah.
I flipped it round. I reversed it. What was that band who flip reverse things?
I'm thinking of a singer. Can you work it? Here's work it. As I flip reverse it. Or is that right? No.
Yeah. That's the song. Singer or band. Spine Guy, let us know. So it was a DW shell pack.
Nice. Yeah.
Cherry, like I describe the colour as is it like candy apple red? That's quite a bold colour, isn't it? Very bright. Not for me. But it was a nice little kit. I think it was a 20-inch, 12 and a 14 floor. But the interesting thing, George, so this was provided by the AV company, is that the toms, I've got a picture here, put on the gram, big fat snare drums on them.
Right.
Which are those, like, dampening pads, dampening things, but they're like entire, they cover the whole drum.
Right.
So it's not like an O-ring where it's just the ring. It's a whole plastic sort of sheet that goes on them. And I thought I couldn't be bothered to change anything, so I just used them. First time I'd used them. Anyway.
Nice.
But yeah, easy gig.
Lovely.
I wrote some other things down. Nah, that's about it. Bit boring. Life's been pretty boring, baby.
Fair enough.
Apart from watching the Euros, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm working, a lot of work. Got a lot of studio work. That's
good.
At the moment.
I'm happy for you.
I finished, friend of the show, previous guest, Jack Hicklin.
Oh, yeah.
I finished his audio for his new promo video for his new function band. That's all been signed off, done. They're shooting the video this week. So maybe when that's through, we can post a little clip on there.
I'm sure Jack would love that.
Yeah. But it sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I was very pleased. They were all very happy with what the work I did.
Did they give you a shit sandwich?
No need. There was no shit to be said. Which I was quite surprised at, really. But they were really happy. Just another client saying what a good job I've done. No, they're very happy, which is great.
Nice.
Doing that, I've just been finishing an album with another band. I've got a couple of singles on the go I'm working on. I've just recorded another 3 songs with a band that's going to make up the rest of an album.
Nice.
So pretty full on at the moment. Ooh, pretty full on. That's all
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah. Email in,
school rumours.
Yeah.
School rumours. What other school rumours? Obviously, if people have listened from the start, they'll know about Miss Henry from my school.
Oh, my God,
who was rumoured to have a wooden tit.
Do the song.
Wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wooden tit?
Yeah, really good. For
obviously,
kids
Pat Sharp dead, the whole Marilyn Manson thing. Yeah. What other big rumours were there? Kicking around schools in the 90s.
I'll say one more. I had the Candyman thing. If you go into the bathroom and say Candyman 3 times.
Yeah, your beers, yeah.
If you Google, I don't know if that was the rumour.
The internet breaks.
Yeah, but that was something that we all thought about in ICT class in secondary school, and never ever Googled Google because we were worried what would happen.
Less specific rumours in terms of like, oh, that teacher was a pedo or things like that. But ones that
a lot
seem
of them
to permeate permeate the nation. If anyone. But yeah, we've had some good listener numbers as well, which is great. Like, people have been spreading the word, which we really do appreciate. Post the reels and that. What is it? What do you do?
Yeah,
share the reels.
People just sharing it to their story. Like it, we do appreciate it. Yeah, I have to say, I sort of go on Instagram and it's like someone's added to your story, and it would just be usually the way that would have happened is if we have a guest and the guest says, oh, I'll share it. But it is just people going, oh, I've checked this out today. It's a good listen or whatever. So, yeah, it's massively appreciated because it clearly makes the listenership go up. And also, it's quite nice to know that people tell their mates about it, because I always think, like, I only really tell my mates things that I think they might think is cool as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're much more likely to tell someone, like, hey, see
how like this stand is.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
That's what we want. We want people, if you pick up one of these stands, you will put that in the hands of every woman and man you meet.
Exactly.
And go, feel how light this is. I will walk round the neighbourhood with one of those stands.
Yeah.
And go, you small child on the swing, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how
Don't worry, mum and dad.
A child,
don't worry.
Yeah. I'm not a
doing
magician.
Anything funny.
Yeah.
But just your 4-year-old is lifting a fully functional cymbal stand.
Yeah.
With minimal to low effort. All right, you're struggling now.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have picked one with a...
Picked up the whole kit.
In a chair. But
what I was
But look how
say,
light it is. That's the point.
There's no
and then
point.
the dad comes over and he goes, "Now that is light." And you go, "Yes, yes, it is, sir."
But what do you get out of that? Is it just in this fantasy? Is it just the idea that the dad goes, "Yeah, it is"? Or
Well, I think there's.
are you using his child as a prop?
No, just as a demonstration. Yeah, I guess so. Demonstration. Like, I think even the child will enjoy it. Especially when
He'll
they're
get
older.
it.
I think
Or
they
she,
think
yeah.
back, and then they go to school and they join a band and that, and then they're like, maybe then that's a school rumor. The weird guy who used to go round letting people lift his lightweight hardware.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong.
But it's
Remember the weird guy, and then because then you pick up any other stand after that, heavy.
Yeah. It
And then you'll
sounds
think,
like
was that just a dream? Or did I really once? But what I guess I'm saying is like, why is it all hardware?
What
It's
are
like,
you saying?
Why is it like? It seems mental that this is not the norm. That we've been struggling with. We have all this, this heavy hardware for so long, and you're like, oh, you can buy a light one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because
That's
they've
good,
been
isn't
doing
it?
that for years with metals. Oh, this metal is lighter than that metal. Let's use that for a bike. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. You imagine if it was the same thing with bikes. Imagine if bikes used to be the equivalent of, a heavy Tama stand. And then one day someone came along and was like, hey, I got this. You'd win every race. You know what I mean? Sunday, you've got a 4 kg bike. And it's like,
Yeah, now if you turn up to the velodrome with a bike made of steel,
yeah.
A, you're coming last. B, you're going to be absolutely laughed out of there.
Yeah.
Laughed out of the Olympic velodrome. But you turn up with a carbon fibre frame, you could win.
You could.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for listening. Thank you, George.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Pleasure as always.
See you soon.
Bye.
Oh, guess what? It's coming home. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.